Welcome back for another episode of Casey's Corner Views. Joining me today is my wife Jessica. We just returned from a trip from Walt Disney World where we decided that we were going to test the quick service dining plan. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so Jessica, what does the quick service dining plan cost for?
So specifically the quick service dining plan will cost adults $57.01 per day. That's everybody over the age of 10. And children are $23.23 per day, and that's children 3 to 9 years old.
So this is how Disney calculates it for the length of your stay. So if you have a 4-night stay, they're going to calculate that
5
into
days.
your plan.
Correct. 5 days.
Okay.
That is the price each day.
Okay.
That includes 2 counter service meals, 1 snack, and 1 resort refillable mug.
Can I use that mug anywhere?
You can only use the mug at the Disney resorts, not just your resort, but the ones that you might visit during your trip.
Okay. But doesn't the meal credit include a drink? So I got a refillable mug, and I also can get another drink included with every time I use a meal credit.
Correct, if you are at your resort. But where that drink comes in is when you're at the theme parks, you're not going to have your refillable mug with you. So you get a quick service meal at the park, and you also get a drink with it.
Okay.
So the reality with the pricing is this. It's not designed to save you money. It's designed for you simply to have the convenience of having prepaid for your food. Some people don't want to have to budget for their food after they've already paid for their package. The dining plan will help you pay ahead of time, and then you don't have to worry about that. But the reality, like I said, is that it's not designed to save you money. When you think about the average quick service meal being around about $20 with that drink, you're getting 2 of them, that's $40, plus a snack, which is usually between $5 and $8. And then the refillable mug for the resort, it still comes in just a little bit under $57 a day per adult and $23 for children. One of the things that's really important when you invest in the specifically quick service dining package is that you understand the difference between a snack and an entree. We made the mistake the very first day when we got there fairly early. We've been traveling most of the morning. We weren't particularly overly hungry. We went to the quick service location at the resort, and all we wanted was yogurts. So I went up, I purchased 2 yogurts, and there was 2 snack credits right away. Now, mind you, I wouldn't necessarily want a yogurt to count as a quick service meal, but I probably would have paid out of pocket for those yogurts as opposed to using my snack credits.
Which you can do.
Mm-hmm.
If once you get up there to pay, you can tell the person whether you want to use a snack credit, whether you want to bill it to your room, or whether you just want to pay for it right there.
So one of the points that I'm trying to make with this is that you want to be aware that in order to get the most for your money, or even to save money using the dining plan, is you have to know which snacks to use as part of your dining plan, because not all snacks are not created equal. You can have the higher priced snacks be counted as a snack credit on your dining plan and then choose to pay for the lower priced snacks out of pocket. But then again, if you're doing that, are you really saving money? You're still spending money that you thought you had already spent on a dining plan.
So in continuing as far as talking about snacks, yes, you have your lower end snacks, lower cost, $4 or $5 snack. But the way Disney lists different items as snacks was surprising to me to learn that an adult beverage, which could cost $18, is considered one snack. But a little Mickey pretzel or something, that's also a snack, but that's only $6-7. So there is a real variance in what you can use your snack credits on in order to maximize and get the most for your money.
And hitting on that, one of the things we learned too is that a cup of coffee is a snack if you choose to use it as a snack credit. A regular normal cup of coffee is $5. However, in the parks at the Starbucks locations, whatever size coffee you get, it is considered a snack credit. So if you want to get a large coffee at Starbucks, it will be worth one snack credit, as opposed to getting a regular coffee at your resort or anywhere else in the park. That is also one snack credit. So the key is really to know, what do you want to use your snack credits on?
Yeah. And what I found personally is during our stay, we had dinner reservations, a couple nights, where we couldn't use our quick service credits, for dinner. So they kind of started to pile up. So by the end of our stay, we ended up still having quick service meals,
on our plan
left
available
that we didn't use them for. So is it good? Is it bad? It all depends. It can be good, depending on how you use your credits. You have to educate yourself. But then again, it could be bad, and you're not going to get your money's worth if you just continually buy, low-end snacks, lower-cost snacks. So I felt like there were times I was forced to eat something maybe I didn't want. When I go to dinner, I'm looking at a menu and I want to pick what I want to eat that night. But if it doesn't cost, it's not the highest priced thing on the menu. I'm not getting my money's worth as far as my Disney snacks, or meals, I should say. So you really got to educate yourself, know what you are buying. When we were there, how did we keep track of how many snack credits we had left and how many entree meals we had left?
So everything is loaded into your Disney app as soon as you check in. As soon as you get on property, I should say, because most people check in before they even get there. But as soon as you get on property that morning, everything is loaded into your app on everybody's profiles in their app, and it includes everybody's credits. So we had 20 meal credits, 10 snacks, and 2 refillable mugs, and each of us saw those same totals on our app. And as you use them, you can go on the same screen under your resort and see what you have left as you use them.
So, Jess, let's talk about the night we decided we were going to have pizza. So, what we didn't know is one slice of pizza, if you go up and get one slice of pizza, it's going to cost you 1 meal credit. But if you buy an entire pizza, it only costs you 2. So if you have a family of 4, 2 adults, 2 kids, and if you do it like us, you have to get a table because you want to sit down. You have to send people up in waves to get their food and come back. If you sent your wife and your 2 kids up there and they each got a piece of pizza, that's 3 credits you just burnt through. But if only one adult goes up, gets an entire pizza, they only burnt through 2 credits. So you actually saved. So there's little tips and tricks that you can use to make this better for you. The alcoholic beverages, was another one. If you're sitting by the pool and you and your wife or significant other are going to have drinks, then use your snack credits on the drinks. Disney drinks run you, $15 to $20. So I'd rather burn a snack credit on that than, like a $5 cup of coffee.
And one thing you have to understand is that not all alcoholic drinks are considered a snack credit. There are some that you can and some that you can't. So you have to ask your server whether or not that specific drink or what specific drinks are part of the Disney dining plan.
Yeah, never be afraid to ask questions. The cast members there will help you out. They are glad to. Like when we went up to the counter and finally figured out that we didn't have to use the credits. It automatically defaults to using your credits if that's what you have on your plan. But you can absolutely tell them that, hey, I want to charge this to the room, or I want to pay for this right now out of pocket, rather than, utilizing a snack credit on,
a cup of coffee.
A cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So what I can say is one of the best things with this meal plan is you get the refillable mug. That in itself paid for itself in the first day.
Right. So if you think about, you get a, it looks like a 16-ounce mug. It's probably more about 8 because there's a lot of insulation inside. However, if you drink, like me, I drink 2 cups of coffee a day. And if you refill that mug at the resort twice, and it's $5 per coffee if you were to buy them, that is $10 in one day. 20 if you have 2 people. And the mug itself is $22.99 if you were to buy them without the dining plan. So in a 5-day span, if both of us are refilling those mugs with just the 2 cups of coffee, plus whatever sodas or fountain drinks that you want to use, there's a bank that you can do coffee, tea, sodas, whatever soft drinks, juices, waters, and you refill them twice a day or more, it's already paid for itself. I think that mug is probably the real value.
Oh, it's definitely a game changer as far as not having to pay for your drinks every time that you're up there. The thing that I found when we decided to eat at the food court, at the resort that we stayed at, if you bring your mug, I can refill it, but you also get a drink that's included in the meal. So I would get a bottle of soda or a bottle
Vitamin
of
water from the refrigerator.
Whatever. Right, and that's included. We forgot about that when like I said, we did the pizza. We ordered a whole pizza, and the guy told me ahead of time, hey, that's only 2 credits, you get a whole pizza. But I completely forgot about grabbing drinks
Right.
because I thought, I got my refillable mug or whatever. But
Right.
you got to remember those drinks are included now.
Right.
Like I said, if you get water bottles, that's great. You can put them in your backpack or whatever and take them to the park the next day.
Right, and those water bottles on Disney property are pretty expensive, more expensive than you would pay outside of Walt Disney World. So that came in handy, just like he said. We would grab those drinks out of the refrigerator so they were sealed. It wasn't something we were getting from the fountain, and we could take them back to the room, or we could take them to the parks with us.
So for our style, if you want to call it that, of eating, we'll basically grab something, when we're hungry. And to me, having the dining plan, it wasn't conducive to the way that we eat. Like I said, it felt like you were forced to sit down and have a meal. And it might have been that didn't necessarily want, how, you're walking and you're hot. You don't want, all fried food and everything else. Maybe I want just a yogurt or something, but I got the meal plan. I got to, use these. And then especially when we had reservations that were outside the resort, or we even had the one that was in the resort. Okay, well, now you have an extra, dining credit. Mm-hmm. So, what do you do with it?
Right. Yeah, so suffices to say, we found out pretty quickly that the dining plan was not necessarily for us, simply because we just don't like to eat that much food. We're snacking on the go. We used up our snack credits very quickly.
Very quickly.
Because that's how we eat. Or we get one entree and we split it. Those sandwiches are pretty big. They usually come with sides. And I'm using just sandwiches as an example. So, we would get one meal and we would split it normally when we visit Walt Disney World. So to have had 20 quick service credits over a 5-day period.
It was just too much.
Plus dining reservations because we were there with friends and we wanted to have meals together. It just didn't make sense for us. And that was the whole point of this. That was the whole point of, let's add this and just see what makes sense. Does it make sense? Does it not?
So there's a lot of people out there that try to beat the dining plan. They want to get, more food, more, value for what they paid. And you can do that if you order all the most expensive stuff that you can find. Utilize your snacks for, the alcoholic beverages and the more expensive desserts. You may come out a couple dollars ahead. It's not going to be much. And to force yourself to eat like that, it just, to me, it didn't work. You're walking all day. You do it. we'll grab something to tide us over, or something to fill that spot until we can sit down and have dinner. So, in general, the dining plan wasn't for us. It can be for you, depending on how you do it. Again, you need to educate yourself. You need to ask questions. You need to look at the prices, and it's almost like a game. And be like, you know what? I'm in the mood for a chicken sandwich. They won't be like, no, don't get the chicken sandwich because that's $5 cheaper than the steak burger. Yeah, it's just no. And if you do it that way, you're going to come out lower. Disney's charged you more money. So if you just bought it as you went, for us, we probably would have saved a couple bucks.
Mm-hmm. And that's not true for everyone. And that's the reality, and I think that's what we need, what we're here to tell people. If you are the type of family or travel group that does eat a lot, you're going to sit down. I mean, in reality, when I looked at it, I thought, sure, that makes sense. I'm going to have at least 2 meals a day. I'm going to have at least 1 snack a day. And $57 a day didn't sound like that much more, or it was equal to what I would expect to spend on food in Disney World on a vacation. So in the beginning, I thought, sure, this is going to work out. We're going to have prepaid for our food. It'll be very convenient. Not realizing that in the moment, you don't necessarily want to sit down with a large meal at least twice a day. Now, if we had not had those table service reservations at restaurants with our friends, we might have used those credits that we had left on the table.
Right.
That was another mistake, but...
So, one of the things that we saw was there was 2 parents and they had 4 children, and they were having lunch at the Magic Kingdom. And they, of course, had the meal plan, and they bought lunches for everybody. The kids weren't hungry, and they didn't eat it. And I watched this dad dump fully loaded tray of food into the trash can.
Right.
Because, I mean, what else are you going to do?
Right.
And
right.
They had the credits for everybody, and that's what they were going to do. And,
right.
So, again, to me, it felt like you were forced to eat and whatever. And, personally, I don't think we're going to do it again.
Right.
But if you're going to do the meal plan, know ahead of time what you're going to do and how you're going, and plan it out. Anything with Disney, of course, is planning. It's like I said, any more going on a Disney trip, it's like planning a wedding. There's just so many aspects and so many things to do. The stuff that you got to know how to do on your phone, which includes now the dining plan, just to keep track of everything. It can be a little tedious, and it can be very frustrating, while you're there. So educate yourself, know what you're doing, and hopefully you will have a magical trip.
Bye.